Well, this is NASA's education office here in Palmdale, California, and we're with Dryden, and we're here to promote education to students.
Are you good?
It's gonna blow up all over today, right from the start of the.
Neither do I. Don't worry, we got a few more years. There you go. That's it.
This track is the Peloton. Set alerts for your favorite riders now for a limited time only. Visit versus.com.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Carpet today. There's a whole bunch of demonic mountains that they will face.
After España and the M.
Stage 7 is ended here in Big Bear Lake, California, but the party's just started on the slopes of Snow Summit. Today we saw the credibility that young Peter Sagan has built amongst his Liquigas Doimo teammates. They went to the front early in the stage and sat second and third position behind the GC teams, HTC Columbia and Garmin Transitions. In the end, he delivered, taking his second stage win in as many days out of an elite group. We haven't heard much from Andy Schleck this week after he fell off the pace on the stage to Santa Cruz. We did see him jump into the days-long breakaway today, however. He did the lion's share of the work before TV coverage came on, establishing more than a 6-minute break. I would gauge his workload at 60% of the group's work. He was working for his teammate Jakob Fuglsang, who was the second-place GC rider in the group. Eventually, Schleck fell off the pace on the last KOM, but his form did look good on the day. I expect him to build well through the June races, and I expect him to be ready to go when the tour starts July 3rd.
I mean, it was just relentless all day long, up and down, and it was like slow torture all day, even the riders in the break. So you kind of want everybody to work. But, you know, it was a race of attrition, and, you know, I was able to stay up there as long as possible.
Yesterday was hard because of the final climbs there on the circuit, but today was even harder because obviously a lot more climbing. But for him to arrive in a small group like that, it's always good. He says he thinks he had to work a little harder on the climbs, but he stayed with him, and that's where he's going to be able to win.
I followed Sagan all the way to the line, and as in every sprint I've done in this tour this year, I've kind of tried to follow him, and he's still beaten me. You know, it's definitely the fastest guy there. I couldn't have done any more than second, that's for sure.
You know, I'm quietly confident. I'm time trialing well. I've been, you know, in the top 5 in every time trial I've done this year, and you know, in bigger races than this. We've got some good guys behind me, but like I said, I'm quietly confident that, you know, I can hold on to this jersey.
It's kind of difficult, you know, basically kicking us out of the race, which you know, it's a big thing for us and our sponsors, and it's a big reason why our sponsors come aboard is for this tour alone. So you know, it may force some of the sponsors to ante up and do more of a Division II status, Continental Pro team instead of just Continental team. So I think United Healthcare realizes that and realizes the importance of this tour to our team. So you know, they're kicking around the idea of becoming a Continental Pro team. So but yeah, I mean, it's difficult. You know, it's good to see that the race is growing, but it's difficult to see maybe some of the domestic teams, sponsors, not being able to ante up to keep them going.
That would definitely hurt us. I mean, we've lost some good races like the Tour of Georgia in the past, and you know, there's been other races that have gone to the wayside. But for domestic cycling, this is definitely our Tour de France, and you know, we treat it that way. We come here with a lot of aspirations, and we try to get in the breakaways, especially my team Jelly Belly. You know, we want to try it for a stage win. We want to be that aggressive team, you know, the one that's maybe a little bit of an underdog. So for us, if this race goes away, for us, you know, an opportunity for us to showcase ourselves like that, it would really be, you know, it would really stink.
I think it has to happen. The Tour of California has just gotten so much better, and every single year it progresses. The amount of people on the side of the road, and the 3 stages that we're about to have in the Tour of California are going to be the most incredible stages that they've ever had. They've moved it to May, and it's been successful. Look at the riders that we have on the start list here: the Schlecks, the Cancelaras, Armstrong, Levi. All those people. It's a magnificent race. It's very well talked about. It's going to progress. It has to go Pro Tour, really. And we're going to be there with 5E Australia. We're an international team here as well, and we're out fighting really, tooth and nail every single day to try to win a stage, and we've come pretty close. The one thing it is going to take out of the equation is the US domestic teams, and perhaps that will hurt US cycling a little bit, and that's something that people really need to think about. But just the natural progression of things, I just don't see it happening any other way.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be great to have a Pro Tour race come to the U.S. and I mean, it'd be tough for us because we're Continental, so we wouldn't get in. So hopefully, the team could take the next step to go Pro Continental, and then we'd get in. And but I think Pro Tour coming to the U.S. is just great for the cycling in the U.S. I mean, I guess it'll just force more of the teams to come over. So yeah, I don't think the caliber is going to change, and the teams that are the U.S.-based ones and stuff like that are going to still be here, so I guess it won't change that much, and yeah.
I think it really hinges on the economy more than bike racing, more than internal politics. If there's not the money to put on a Pro Tour race in America, who's to say whether this one's going to go Pro Tour or maybe have to wait for a little while. State of the economy needs to have a drastic turnaround in order to get the corporate sponsors behind it to make something like that happen. In terms of our team, we have a long history with this race, and hopefully we can try to remain included in that, whether that means bumping ourselves up to Pro Continental and wildcard status, whether it's worth it for that to happen for Bissell or any oncoming sponsors. That's a lot of money, extra money to put out to maintain the status quo, basically. That's not my call to make, and I'm hoping for the best. I love racing in my hometown, and we'll see what happens. Exactly, it's a huge catch-22. You get to do Tour of California for double or triple your budget, but then you can't race in America. So there needs to be some kind of changes at the USA Cycling level to accommodate that, regardless of what happens with Tour of California, because you need to have more pro-continental American teams and have that be a viable option to bring, let the cream rise to the top. Let us be pro-continental, let United Healthcare, the biggest teams that are racing right now, should be a step above the basic pro teams.
We've talked to Pat and the UCI about being a Pro Tour race. It's something that I think is in our future, and we're going to sit down after the race, probably in June in Switzerland, and talk about what's the right time to do that. In a lot of ways, we've benefited by not being a Pro Tour race. We continue to be a showcase for domestic teams, and we still benefit from having many of the Pro Tour riders that are familiar to American audiences. I think that there's some real advantages to being in the Pro Tour at the same time. Having all of the Pro Tour teams, be it 16 or 18 or 20 or whatever the number is going to be next year. It's the overall caliber of the race will be higher. It'll be a better average caliber of rider. It'll be faster. It'll be harder racing. So there's some benefits to that too. But we'll sit down in June and we'll sort it out.
So it's to be determined. There's no guarantee it'll be a Pro Tour event 2011 or 2012.
Well, I think we have broad agreement that it's something we're going to do, and I think that what we're talking about is whether is it going to be 2012, is it going to be 2011? I think we want to sit down and sort of work through that with Pat and his team.